Hello students, let us move on to another session. Okay, basically try to solve problems in a peaceful way. A person can either be peaceful or miserable. The choice is always in our hands. Okay, so solve questions with a calm mind. You'll get answers to every questions. An infinite number of particles, each of mass m, are placed on the positive x-axis at 1 meter, 2, 4, 8 from the origin. Find the magnitude of the resultant gravitational force on mass m kept at the origin. So it is given like this. There is a mass which is kept at the origin. Okay, and this is 1 meter, 2 meter, 4 meter, 8 meter, and so on till infinity. Okay, and everywhere mass m has been placed. Okay, so there will be a gravitational force between these two. There will be gravitation force between these two. So there will be gravitation force between these two. So what is our F? F will be equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus so on. F basically definition is G(m)(1) m2 by distance square. So let us write F1 now. F1 is equal to G(m) into m, G(m) square by 1 square. F2 will be G(m) square by 2 square. F3 G(m) square by 4 square. Okay, so F total force is equal to, we need to add all this. So when you want to add, Gm square is common, so you can take Gm square common. So it is 1 plus 1 by 2 square, because 1 upon 1 square is 1 square, plus 4 square plus 8 square plus so on. Which type of series is this? This is a GP series, and that too an infinite GP series. So what is the sum of terms in an infinite GP series? The first term divided by 1 minus r, where r is the common ratio. You have to take two consecutive terms and you have to take the ratio. You can take this term and this term. You can take this term or this term. Suppose you take this and this, so it is 1 upon 4. And what is the first term? 1. Alright. So when you are adding this thing, Gm square is anywhere outside, so it is common. So it is Gm square multiplied by the first term is 1, 1 minus 1 by 4. So this is 3 by 4, 4 by 3, Gm square. So this is the answer to this question. Now let us see the next question. In a double star system, the two stars of masses m1 and m2 separated by a distance x rotates about their center of mass. Find the common angular velocity and time period of revolution. See, one time one student asked me revolution and oscillation. Now these are two different things. Suppose an object is rotating in a circle, it started here and it came back here. That is one revolution. But when you say oscillation, let us say this is my mean position. It is oscillating about this mean position, So these two are different things. And here one thing you need to understand is, what is actually given in the question is, there are, let us say, two stars. Okay. Although there is no cord which is connecting them. There is no cord which is connecting them. So what is happening is, let us say they are rotating like this. So obviously there is a gravitational force between them. Okay. Now this gravitational force is making them rotate. So they are experiencing a centripetal force because of the gravitational force. The centripetal force is provided by the gravitational force in this case. So here the masses are given as, let us say, the distance between them is x, okay, and the masses are m1 and m2, okay. So let us say the center of mass is somewhere here, because it cannot be in the center because m1 and m2 are different things, to different masses, so it can be anywhere. So let us say this distance is r1 and this distance is r. Whenever you write these distances, you write these distances with respect to the center of mass. So the gravitational force G between the two masses will be G m1 m2 by distance between them, x square. By the way, I want to tell you that this G is experimentally determined by an experiment called Cavendish experiment. Cavendish experiment. I am not getting into what is this Cavendish experiment and all that. If any question comes on that, you should be able to answer that this G is determined by Cavendish experiment. Now G m1 m2 by r square. Now this is the gravitational force. Now it is providing the necessary centripetal force. So about center of mass, if you take this mass, so it is m1 r1 omega square, where omega is the angular speed, let us say. So obviously when I have written two masses like this, and the masses after some time, after time t, the situation is like this, they must be experiencing some omega, isn't it? So you can cancel out here m1 and you got g m2 by x square is equal to r1 omega square. So now recollect what we have studied in center of mass chapter. So can we find the location of the center of mass, okay, with respect to this position? So your r1 will be, what did I tell you? You need to write this mass m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2. It's not m2 r2, it is m2x. Okay, this was the formula to find out. Okay, you can put the formula and you can find out what is the distance r1. R1, when you are writing from this end, this mass multiplied by distance divided by the total masses. So let us say this is your equation 2 and this is your equation 1. So you can put the value of r1 here. This r1 value you can put it here. So then you are going to get g m2 by x square is equal to r1 m2x by m1 plus m2, right, omega square. By the way, what are we trying to find out? We are trying to find out the value of omega. So the omega value is here right now. So cancel out any common terms and you are getting omega is equal to g m1 and m1 plus m2, right, divided by x cube and square root of that. Alright, so this is your common angular velocity and time period of revolution. Once you know the value of omega, you know that omega is equal to 2 pi upon t. So you can work out the value of t that I am leaving for yourself. So this is how you have to do this problem. Now look at this question. If the earth shrinks such that its density becomes 8 times the present value, the new duration of the day in hours is, see, let us say initially earth was like this, now earth has shrunk, okay, but in both cases the mass is same only. It's like your washing cloth, you try to twist it, but even after that the mass of that cloth remains the same. So here, as per conservation of mass, we have initial and final masses of the earth is same, But what is mass? Mass is basically volume multiplied by density. So let us say initial volume is V1, initial density is D1, final volume is V2 and final density is D2. Okay. Now this earth is in the spherical shape. So what is the volume of a sphere? Volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cube. So putting here, you get 4/3 pi r cube because initially let us say the radius was r1 and finally it was r2. We will write here r1 cube into d1 is equal to 4/3 pi r2 cube into d2. 4/3 pi is common, which is cancelled. So you are given in the question that the density becomes 8 times. So the density d2 by d1 is given as 8. Okay. So take d1 this side and r2 this side. You get r1 by r2 whole cube is equal to 8, or r1 by r2 is equal to 2. So this is the relationship you got. Now, even in the initial stage or in the final stage, there is no external torque which is acting on it. See, Earth is rotating, okay? So if you take a mass on it, so you can say that this angular momentum is conserved in both the cases, okay? So the Earth is rotating by itself. So there is a case that we can take this angular momentum is constant here. So what is the angular momentum? What are the equations we can write? Angular momentum is mvr, one formula we know, I omega is there, right? So here velocity nothing has been provided. So and we are trying to find out, what are we trying to find out? We are trying to find out the new duration. So we will involve this omega part. So we can write I1 omega 1, that is the initial one. This is as per the conservation of angular momentum, is equal to I2 omega 2. Okay. So because it's a solid sphere, it is 2 by 5 m1, r1 square is the I1 value, and this is, I can write 2 pi by t1, and this is 2 by 5. Now the mass has changed, m2 r2 square multiplied by 2 pi by t2. So 2 pi is common, 2 by 5 is common. Alright, m1 m2 is common. So you can write here, basically we are trying to find out t2 by t1. So you bring t2 this side. So t2 by t1 is equal to, you are getting r2 by r1 whole square. r1 by r2 is 2. So r2 by r1 will be 1 by 2. So this becomes 1 by 4. So t2 by t1 is 1 by 4, or t2 is equal to t1 by 4. t1 is 24 hours per day. So this will be 24 by 4, 6 hours. Option 3 is the right answer. It's a good quality question. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. A planet moves around the sun. At a given point P, it is closest from the sun at a distance d1 and speed v1. At another point Q, where it is farthest. It is farthest and it is closest. So, what does they tell you? Perihelion and ephelion. Okay, and the distances are given to you. So the speed will be, at the farthest distance, what will be the speed? See, it is rotating like this in a elliptical way like this. So this is your perihelion point and this is your ephelion point, and this distance is given as d1 and this distance is given as d2, right? And what are you supposed to find out? You have to find out the speed at this point when it is rotating, revoluting round. Here the speed is given as v1. Okay. See, I told you this concept that in this case the planets are moving by itself. okay, under the influence of gravity, of course, gravitational force. So the angular momentum is conserved. You remember this concept, angular momentum is conserved. Conserved means constant. Conserved means what? Constant. Okay, you calculate the angular momentum because of planet at this location or at this location, it is constant. So angular momentum is mvr, right? So we have to write here the mass of the planet, let us say mp, and about this point you are taking, because the distances are given with respect to the foci. Okay, so mp into velocity v1 into distance is d1 is equal to mp p2 d2. Why mp? The mass of the planet is not changing, right? So mp cancel. So we are supposed to find here v2. So v2 will be d1 v1 by d2. So simple question. Option 3. Let us move to the next one. If a graph is plotted between t square and r cube for a planet, then its slope will be. So there is a graph which is given like this between t square and r cube. So they are asking you what will be the slope of the graph. See, basically for a planet he is saying, see, the planet was rotating around the sun, let us say like this. So the gravitational force between them was, let us say the mass of sun is ms, mass of planet is mp by r square. Now this gravitational force is giving you what? The centripetal force. So it is m r omega square. Okay, so many times we have discussed this, no point repeating. So here this mass is what? Mass is mass of planet only. So this and this is gone. So you are getting here omega square is equal to g m by r cube, where m is the mass of the sun, let's say. So this is 2 pi by t whole square is equal to gm by r cube. So from here you can get t square is equal to cross multiply, you get 4 pi square. Okay, you get just cross multiply. So t square into gm, 4 pi square into r cube by gm, right? So this is what you got. So look at this term. I'll write this term here, 4 pi square by gm. It is, you can remember this as a formula also. So here the graph is drawn between these two. So that means t square, if you call it as y and x cube as x, so is it not representing y is equal to mx type of equation? Because the line is passing through the origin. Alright. So what is the slope here? Slope means what? Slope means tan theta, right? Slope means tan theta. So what is the slope here? 4 pi square by gm. 4 pi square by gm is the answer. Option 1 is the right answer. See students, look at this question. Now this question looks a little derivation type of question. See, I will tell you that never get frightened by these type of derivation type of questions. It is simple arrangement of formulas. Whatever you know, you have to apply, and you have to rearrange the terms to get the output in the required format. Basically, you should be very thorough with the formulas and basic knowledge. You can do these questions easily. A point mass is orbiting a significant mass lying at the focus of elliptical orbit having major and minor axes given by 2a and 2b respectively. Let r be the distance between the masses m and the end point of the major axis. Velocity of the particle is given by. So you have to find out the velocity actually. Okay. Now there is a point mass which is, there is a significant mass and there is a point mass. This is our significant mass and this is our point mass which is rotating around this object. Okay. Now as per Kepler's second law, we have seen that you have aerial velocity which is constant, dA by dt, it is constant, and I have shown in the class also that dA by dt basically is L upon 2m. What is this L? L is the angular momentum. Okay, so L can be given as mvr divided by 2m, right? Let us say this is at a distance of r, so you can write it as mvr by 2m. So from here you are getting mm cancelled, you are getting vr by 2. This is your dA by dt. So we have to find out the velocity here. So because this is in the differential form, so you can cross multiply 2 dA vr dt. Alright, so integrating both sides. Why integrating both sides? Because none of the options are in the differential format, and you have to find the time, you have to find the total area. The total area, this is an elliptical, trajectory it is following, because in the question 2a and 2b is given. So remember that when there is an ellipse given like this, okay, and this is 2a, your major axis, and 2b, minor axis. So this area is pi times AB. Just remember this. Okay. So when you integrate this total area, you get pi AB. Pi AB is equal to VR into T. Okay. So from here, V will be equal to 2 pi AB divided by R multiplied by T. T in the previous question also I have shown you that T is basically root over AQ by GM. There will be a 2 pi term here. T is given by 2 pi into root over AQ by GM. Okay. So that term you have to put here. So you get 2 pi AB by R into T. So T here is 2 pi multiplied by, this will go to the top, GM by A cube. So 2 pi cancel. So you are left with AB by R into root over GM by A cube. Okay? AB by R into GM by A cube. So this is the expression you have to remember for time period of a rotating planet. This I have done in the previous question also. So which is the option which is correct? Option 1 is the right answer.